we go.
Well, how did you lose a tooth?
I'm slow. So, your tooth is loose and you'll play with it with your tongue. And so it's the two front teeth.
I kind of missed that feeling.
Yes. So one of the front teeth was loose and I'm playing with it with my tongue. And I noticed sometimes the gap is smaller and sometimes the gap is larger.
Yeah.
But I'm not paying any, it's like, oh, that's odd. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because my mouth is expanding and contracting depending on the day. Your mouth doesn't do that, people. So I'm eating a watermelon and I come across a seed and one of the teeth, my tooth falls out. And so that was odd. And then I took another bite of the watermelon after I ran that tooth to my mama, and the other tooth fell out. So I had the snaggle tooth thing. Two teeth were loose.
Two tooths and a lie?
Two tooths and a lie.
Two tooths and a lie?
Well, 2 tooths and a watermelon. 2 teeth, 1 watermelon, right? And so, yeah, that was a tough period of time for me. Because that's how you chomp. And I'm a chomper when I eat. When I eat.
Not a chomper.
Yeah, I'm a chomper.
Worldwide chomper.
So I need the front teeth.
Okay.
What was the song?
Understandable. The song was by the artist formerly known as Kanye West. And
What's he known as now?
Ye.
Is he known as Ye?
I believe when he ran for president, it was presidential candidate Ye.
Okay.
In the birthday party.
Okay.
Never forget. Or you can choose to forget. It's Pure Souls off the Donda album.
Oh.
I kept it.
Okay.
It's nice.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
That's fine. How much Kanye do you have? I feel like you would have...
What's your guess?
25, 30 songs?
Let's see.
Just him or him. I'm not including features.
Right.
But if we want to include features, sure. Knock it out.
Let's see.
I would think that most people our age specifically will have a whole lot of
All Falls Down, All of the Lights,
2,
American
3,
Boy, Believe What I
4,
Say, Blood on the
5,
Leaves, Can't
6,
Stop, Castro,
7,
Champion,
8,
City of God,
9,
E.T.,
10,
Famous,
11,
Forever,
12,
4 or 5
13,
Seconds, Ghost
14,
Town, Gold
15,
Digger, Good
16,
Life, Heartless,
17,
Heaven and
18,
Hell, Hold My
19.
Liquor,
Hey, you're
Hurricane.
coming in. Hold the count. 20.
We've got a long way to go. 20 plus Kanye songs in the library. What's up, everybody? It is Thursday, May 30th. Gonna be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, NBA Western Conference Finals continue tonight. Game 5. Will the Timberwolves continue to stave off elimination? Plus, the deadline to declare for the NBA draft has passed, and Memphis will not get their leading scorer back next season as David Jones is keeping his name in the draft. We'll talk about what that means for him, what that means for the Memphis Tigers. We'll talk about some other sports things. Details continue to come out on the EA college football game that we're getting later this summer. Saw a really cool new NBA stat that I'm excited to share. Get a little nerdy with it. Teresa Walker going to join about 20 minutes in. OTAs kicked off in the NFL. Tennessee Baseball is the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. And we will chat about the significant changes coming in pay to college athletes. It is Thursday. That means it's draft day, and we are drafting things you do at the beach. It's summer. It's beach season. Why not? And we'll end with a little Theater Thursday. I am so excited for this segment today. I have some news to share that I've been waiting to see break for over a decade, and I can't wait to tell CJ all about it. Also saw some movies. We'll get through those, share our thoughts. It is a Thursday. It's almost Friday. Let's have some fun. You know what we say. Cowabunga!
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. That's why we're looking for team members to help us reshape the steel industry for a more sustainable tomorrow. Our edge starts with you at www.bigriversteel.com/join to join our dash team. That's www.bigriversteel.com/join to join our dash team.
Let's talk about MVPs.
Let's do it. I went with the Joker.
Oh my God.
Nikola Jokic.
Nikola freaking Jokic.
Every time I watch him play, I am so impressed.
I'm obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Everything he does works. He can pass, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can drive, he can defend. Like, he can do everything.
He can lead the fast break, and he's like 7-1.
IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Watching Tiger Woods play golf is a lot like going on a vacation with your kids. You want to do it. You think you're going to have a time. You think you think you're going to enjoy it, and then you get right in the middle of it, and you go, "Man, this is not as much fun as I thought it was going to be. This is making me sad." You always think it's going to be great.
Yeah,
it sometimes it is, but
I haven't.
You know what I mean.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Everybody knows what I mean.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The Grizz Girls are no ordinary dance team. They're known across the NBA for setting the standard for world-class dance and entertainment. From hip-hop to jazz, the Grizz Girls do it all. And they're looking for talented dancers with dynamic personalities to join the team. Do you have what it takes to join a premier NBA dance team and entertain Grizz Nation both on the court and in the community? Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information and show us what you've got at open auditions Saturday, July 13th.
For the sunshine, gotta own a day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, hey. Let's have a little fun now. Hey. I wanna let it all out. Hey. That's what it's all about. Hey. Hey. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday to you. Before we get started today, everybody, let's give CJ a round of applause. He pulled off the GCM trifecta yesterday. All 3 shows starting in the morning. Then he helped out in the Gary Parrish Show. Then he helped out in the Chris Vernon Show with John Roser, guest hosting. CJ, how did it feel? How do the stats feel this morning?
Do the what?
The stats.
What stats?
The trifecta stats.
We don't have production stats.
I think you're the first producer to complete the trifecta.
We don't need stats for every damn thing.
We contraire.
Don't. No, we don't.
Au
no,
contraire.
So we're not doing that. We're not. And every first does not matter. It's not that important. I hope Bennett is feeling better. I hope Chris Vernon got home safely.
Those flights have been nuts.
Well, because the weather's been terrible.
No.
Have you? We're finally going to be able to play kickball today.
Are you? Are you sure?
The kid is so excited. There's no rain coming.
That you know of.
The past, 5 weeks maybe, it's been rain on a Tuesday or Wednesday or on a Thursday every damn week. There's no rain coming. We're playing kickball. Wow. Yes. Shout out to the foul balls. We're getting out there today.
I'm happy for you. I'm really
so
happy
excited.
for you. Of course, you finally get to play kickball. You'll miss game 5. I mean, you'll catch up on it.
Yeah, that's fine. We got recording, so I'll record
Technology? What?
Yeah, I'll record it and I'll
incredible.
watch it and come up with whatever the opinion is when the time comes for the opinion. It's fine.
When we talk tomorrow, are we talking about a series end or a
the
series
series
continue?
is over.
No, it's not.
Okay.
They're not going to lose.
Okay.
Kevin Garnett is apparently going to be in the building.
I hate it for KG.
I love
hate it for the
KG.
big ticket.
I love it for
he's
KG.
out there.
Did you know that the Dallas Mavericks 6-2 in road games this postseason? Their only 2 road wins have come at the Target Center in Minneapolis. Those first 2 games of the series. Due factor would say the Timberwolves are due for a home win.
Hey, hit me with that.
Series that has been close.
Hit me with that stat again.
6-2 in away games this postseason.
Okay, so it's a due factor for the Timberwolves.
Correct.
Gotcha.
The other due factor, perhaps, but probably not. Luka Doncic has not lost back-to-back games. The Mavs have not lost back-to-back games with Luka Doncic in the lineup since early March. They just don't lose. Luka doesn't lose 2 games in a row unless the due factor.
And see, this is why we don't need stats for everything,
fine,
because
fine.
y'all take stats and twist them to mean what you want them to mean.
You all take
It's ridiculous.
stats.
Y'all are terrible. Y'all are awful people. The only stat I care about is a stat that it ends at every game. Every game has one stat that matters.
Is it a win and a loss?
Score. Who put up the most points? That's the only stat that matters.
I got really excited, and we'll get into the David Jones NBA draft, all of that in a moment. But since we are talking about stats, I saw this really cool stat that I was amped to bring in this morning, and I told it to CJ, and he just looked at me dead in the eyes like, who cares? But this came from someone on Twitter. Bucknell Sports Analytics has created a new stat called PEST. One, it's a great name for a stat, because PEST stands for Perimeter Estimated Stress Transferred. It is used to quantify aggressiveness of perimeter defense. And at the tippity-toppity of the top 10 of the NBA player PEST rankings, John Conchar, number 2 PEST player in the league. Number 8, Vince Williams Jr. The Grizzlies as a team, 3rd pestiest team in the NBA after Orlando and OKC. I actually, you know me, I'm not a numbers girly. And numbers were not my thing. That's why I was a journalism major. However, when this person produced a formula of average speed, distance run, deflections, blocks, steals, charges, shots taken against, and loose balls recovered, you get 2 Grizzlies in the top 10. And all of those come together for your PEST ranking. Your PEST stat.
So if you're not a numbers girly, whatever the hell that means, why are you trying to become a statistic one?
Because
right?
stats was always the easiest version. Stats was the easiest math class you could take.
No, whatever.
Yes,
no,
it was.
It's not, because it's percentages. You don't understand how it all works. This is
I understand
stupid.
percentages.
This is dumb.
No, it's not.
It is. We don't need that. We
not
don't
everything
need
has to be
that.
dumb.
It is. This
It's
is
not dumb.
We don't need that.
He used data from NBA.com. He put together.
Using data that measures
you-
distance and deflections and all these other things. You should be able to
You
sit
just wanna
down and
hate on
watch
John
this damn
Conchar. It's not- you
game
just wanna
and
hate
be
on
like,
John
hey,
Conchar. You
that's a
just
good
don't.
defender right there.
You don't
Do you
want-
think John Conchar is a good defender?
I think he's a pesty defender.
What does that mean? What does that matter? Is he a
means
good defender?
Perimeter estimated stress transfer.
Is he a good defender?
Yes.
Okay.
I was surprised that he was the
Then
number
fine.
2 pestiest
Yes, 'cause
defender.
that's wrong.
But I
He's
was
not the number 2
absolutely
perimeter
convinced
defender in the league.
that Vince Williams Jr. is top 10. Surprised that Dylan Brooks perhaps was not in that top 10. We don't have the full rankings. This guy is still making the entirety of the Excel spreadsheet. He has them all. He just hasn't released them all. Anyway, I appreciate people who are trying to add new levels to the understanding of statistics around the game.
This thirst that we have
For analytics?
yes, is bothersome.
Well, that's fine.
It annoys me.
You don't
I
want stories.
I
You don't want analytics. All you want is wins and losses.
Is that
Which is
not
fine.
sports? Is that not the whole
there's
thing
more
that
to
we're
it.
here to watch?
That's like if you took a book and you just read the first line and the last line. You're like, all right, I know how it ends. There's a lot of context there in the middle.
I'm sorry. When people, you might not know this because you seem to be smart. I don't know if you took any tests, taking classes.
I did.
Okay, so they tell you when it comes to reading comprehension, what are you supposed to do? Don't read the whole thing. You read the first sentence of the paragraph, the last sentence of the paragraph, and move your ass along. Because
Not
those are the
always.
things that matter. That's what matters. I watch the tip off. As soon as the ball gets tipped, I turn the damn game off, and I watch the last shot, and that's it. Those are the only things that matter to me.
Well, if you
because
were-
the score starts 0-0, and I know who's playing in it, and then at the end of the game, I know what the final score is. We can figure it all out in between. This need we have to create things to help us understand basketball. This isn't baseball. This is stuff that's happening in that sport. That sport is supposed to be nerdy and about those types of numbers. Basketball is a beautiful sport to just sit down and watch, and you should be able to explain basketball without using things like PEST or what was Rosa was trying to do a shot quality thing with us yesterday. It's like
Quality
no.
of shots of who should have made more based on the shots they took on the court.
That's dumb. I don't need that.
I don't think it's dumb. I think it's genuinely
not-
smart. You don't have to get into it, but if you look at basketball, like you said, it's a beautiful sport. There's the poetry of basketball, there's the aggressiveness of basketball, and then there's also the numbers that explain why certain things happen the way they are. Everything is explained by science and numbers in this universe. It's just a fact of life. I don't love it because it's hard for me to understand sometimes, because you're right. I hated my AP statistics class, and I sat in the back watching March Madness while everybody else was preparing for the AP test. And when I sat down for the AP test, I answered everything C, and then I canceled my test results so my parents would never know just how poorly I was going to do on the AP statistics
So why are
class
you
at the
trying
end
to
of
do
the day.
this stat thing with me
I'm not
right
trying to do
now?
it. I'm reading.
You're
these.
excited about this.
I know. I thought it was cool.
Throw it back up there. Throw it back up there, because I guarantee you we're going to look at this and say, okay, this one may be a top 10 perimeter defender. Maybe. You've got, how many of those dudes are in the playoffs? TJ McConnell at 9? How many better defenders on the perimeter is there than TJ McConnell?
According to the past, it's not just about being
Okay.
a better perimeter defender.
What's
It's
it
that
about?
it's the chaos. I look at it as a chaos stat, essentially. Like, how much chaos are you causing at the perimeter, which factors into somebody's overall tendencies as a perimeter defender, but it's not definitive of best perimeter defender.
So
in the
what
league.
does chaos do for you on the defensive end?
Creates deflections, creates misses, creates bad shots.
Does it create misses?
Yes.
Okay.
I would think so. Anyway,
right.
Just if you want to take the first sentence and the last sentence of something, you would miss a whole fun, dramatic concept of what happened with David Jones yesterday. Because the
What's
first
dramatic
sentence,
about it? Did he stay or did he go? Did he stay or did he go? Did he stay or go? And also,
he eventually.
Wait a second. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm a little cranky today because I worked extra hard.
My God, I should have known.
Why do I care whether he stays or goes? We've had this conversation before. The leading scorer on the 5th best team in the 11th best basketball playing conference? Why the hell do I care about that? But go ahead. Let's talk David Jones now.
You would care about it or Tigers fans would care about it because the assumption would be that David Jones would be in pole position to be AAC Player of the Year in a down conference, in a perceived opportunity where the Memphis Tigers should steamroll. And I know we've gone down this road before. However, with the additions that Penny Hardaway has made in this offseason, the 9 scholarship players coming in, you added a 10th last night, and we'll get into that news of it all. But Memphis Tigers fans suddenly got their hopes up that David Jones was going to return to Memphis next season. It is always a good thing, or most of the time, it is a good thing. You never say always because there are outliers. But when your leading scorer returns in a sport that has been completely taken over by transfers and new teams having to be thrown together each and every year, if you have some consistency in especially a leadership role, it would have been a net positive for the Memphis Tigers. However, David Jones did not take his name out of the NBA draft last night. And we first got a tweet from Jonathan Givony around 3 o'clock saying that this was going to be the case, that David Jones was keeping his name in the draft. But then you started seeing this trickling of, well, actually, this isn't over yet. And Memphis was continuing to try to make a late push. This is what you can do in modern college sports with NIL and trying to create a package that would have enticed David Jones to come back to the University of Memphis next year. And you saw it from Hitman Hoops, and Parth over at the Daily Memphian confirmed as well. And so trickling down into the 10:59 Central Time deadline last night, David Jones ultimately, as CJ said, the end of it remains the same. He is going into the NBA draft. But even when we talked about this yesterday, I think there was a general assumption that he was not going to, or at least that the odds were higher, the statistics, if you will, were higher of David Jones returning to Memphis after what was seen as a disappointing draft combine appearance, both with his measurables and how he performed in the scrimmages at the NBA's draft combine. And suddenly it went from like a 50-50 chance on NBA draft or returning to Memphis next season, and it turned into, okay, maybe the odds are in Memphis's favor for him to come back. There is an understanded confusion's not the word that I want to use, but people are confused why he would turn down the money he was going to get via NIL at the University of Memphis and just the established playing time, the situation that he was walking into next year at Memphis being the guy versus choosing to go into an NBA draft. And as I've started doing more and more draft prep, I haven't seen David Jones' name on a single NBA mock draft. And so the hypothetical is a team has decided that they are going to extend a 2-way offer to David Jones. He has maybe a handshake deal, a pinky promise, if you will, of a 2-way opportunity. And he wants to live his dreams in the NBA, but he's leaving a lot of money. He's leaving significantly more money behind by not returning to the University of Memphis, where there is certainly no guarantee that he is going to be a surefire NBA rookie next season at all. Were you surprised?
A grenade that you just threw me, because I don't care. Genuinely, sincerely, from the depths of my being, I couldn't care less about what's going on with David Jones and the Memphis Tigers. Right? David Jones comes back, and what are we going to do? We're going to hang a banner for another offseason championship for the Memphis Tigers men's basketball program? There's nothing that happens between now and October can get me excited for Memphis Tigers basketball. This is a do or don't, shut up and ball type of season for them. After seasons of, we want the smoke, Look at all these recruits we've got in. Look at all this. Look at all of that. We're killing it in the Bahamas against these plumbers and these car mechanics in this hotel ballroom with this makeshift court. Nobody's going to be able to hold us. And then the season starts and you look up and it's, oh my gosh, they're fighting for another bubble spot. Again, whatever. Off-season moves are important because that's the team that you're going to play with. Those are the guys who are going to be on the court come February, right? That's why these things are important. But if you expect me to get excited about it, I just can't, and I won't. This team under Penny Hardaway has been to how many tournaments? 2, 3? 2, an NIT championship, round of 32,
3,
round of 32 exit.
Yes.
2 rounds of 32s or 1? 2. Either way it goes, they hadn't been to a Sweet 16.
2 rounds of 32.
They hadn't been to a Sweet 16 in how long? This conference was down last year. The conference was down last year. And what did the Tigers do? They finished 5th.
Right.
Like come on, man. Until they do it, I'll keep my excitement in check. And I suggest y'all do the same.
I had somebody ask me because there was genuine excitement that all of the players are on campus for summer workouts. And in years past, it has been a hodgepodge of who gets their win and what that means for chemistry. And I was like, honestly, I pulled a CJ. I said, I don't care. I don't care if everybody's there. Sure, is it better to have everybody in one spot ahead of time than having a David Jones straggle in September like he did last year, or having multiple players not be there for various parts of the summer? Yeah, I guess. But for Memphis, it's not the end of the world. Like, when you look at the roster that has been created, you have PJ Haggerty, who had the ball in his hands at Tulsa. You have Colby Rogers, who can score, led Wichita State last season, was one of the best three-point shooters in the country. You have Tyrese Hunter from Texas. You have this Dane Danger from Illinois. You have pieces there. You have 9 players on scholarship, or 10 after the news overnight that Parth reported on, that they have added Daniel Vieira Tuck, who is a 6'4" combo guard out of Portugal. He's 19. He played for a pro league over there last season. Now you can also look and see, can you use the money that you were going to spend on David Jones? Could you go and, back up the truck for somebody like Coleman Hawkins, who withdrew his name from the NBA draft? And that's what people thought David Jones was going to do, because it is this trend of, because of NIL payments and because of the amount of money that a player could make returning to their school versus going in and living their dreams in the NBA, maybe you choose the money. I think David Jones chose the dream. Is that the financial decision that everyone's going to make? Absolutely not. But I think he saw, this is me just hypothesizing. I don't know him. I haven't talked to him. But he was maybe not going to have as good of a season statistically that he had last year at Memphis. And he's going to ride that wave. And he has a dream to play in the NBA. And he saw this as his best opportunity to do so. The money is not going to be the same. So you chose the NBA over the money.
Wish him the best.
We wish him the best. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, Teresa Walker will join us. Titans OTAs have begun. We'll get her take on that, along with the NCAA college baseball tournament and Tennessee being the overall #1 seed. We'll talk to her about the state of college athletics as well after a quick break.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Let's talk about MVPs.
Let's do it. I went with the Joker.
Oh my God,
Nikola
freaking Jokic.
Every time I watch him play, I am so impressed.
I'm obsessed with him.
Yep.
Everything he does works. He can pass, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can drive, he can defend. Like, he can do everything.
He can lead the fast break, and he's like 7-1.
IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 Crispy Tender Wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
If you look at it as far as the number 9 pick over the years, there's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft. Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Mike did his favorite black films of all time. Mike, where we at?
If there's one movie I know every single line to, it is Coming to America.
There we go.
It is Coming to America. It can come on any time of any day, and I'm going to stop and watch at least 20 minutes of it.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
36 and a half vertical?
Watch your
Yeah,
head.
you said it was 44.
You sure I said that?
36 and a half?
36 and a half is big.
36 and a half. I've got bench press here.
18 times.
17.
Okay.
You always have to put a little barbecue
It's
sauce.
all barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce on the wings.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Marge Simpson?
Come on, Bennett. You'd hook up with Marge Simpson?
Yeah. You ever see the ones with her hair, when she lets her hair down?
You're attracted to Marge Simpson.
Marge is cute.
Cute?
Legacy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I respect her.
Yeah.
But she ain't Jessica Rabbit.
No, she's not Jessica Rabbit. She's not Jessica Rabbit. No.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back. It is Thursday. That means it's time for us to catch up with one of our favorites, Teresa Walker, who is once again busy with the start of OTAs and everything and anything going on over in Nashville. Teresa, how are you?
I'm good. Busy because, yes, it's that time of year. The Titans were on the field last week for their first OTA. I was at the spring NFL meetings in Nashville. It's just the second time that they've been held here. And I'm going to take these off because I can see my little light reflecting. And it's like, it's like, whoa, I'm blinded by the light, man. But they were back on the field yesterday. We've got NCAA baseball. The Vols are going to try and do what they say can't be done. No number one seed has won the NCAA baseball tournament since they went to this current format in 1999. And ain't nobody partied since then because that was 1999. So do you see how many little cliches and references I'm throwing in here? But that's it. It never ends, folks. There's always something going on.
When was the Titans Super Bowl? Was that 99? Or was that
99 season, January 2000.
There we go. 1999 was a good year.
It was. Some would say.
That's the year that my son was born. It makes it very easy for me to remember that season.
Nice.
And yeah, and props to the husband. Kid's a few months old. I go off to the AFC Championship game in Jacksonville.
No.
And I was gone for about 13 days. Husband handled the baby by himself and told me when I got back from Atlanta, oh yeah, he was sick during the AFC Championship game. He and his mom handled it. Didn't tell me. That's called parenting.
That's called parenting. Teresa, it was interesting watching the reaction to the NCAA baseball selection show and just where the seeding panned out and the host cities were. There was no doubt that Tennessee was going to be the number one overall seed. But when you look at how some of the paths for other high seeds, I know Mississippi State feels slighted, Duke feels slighted. Was there any answer other than this is just a tough tournament this year?
It's a tough tournament, and I think they were trying to spread some teams out. I mean, let's be honest. There's some teams that are hosting this weekend that on paper you're like, wait a minute, they're quality wins, Excuse me, Mississippi State's got a great argument there. But, then you've got Vanderbilt, who is, a 18th straight NCAA tournament bid under Tim Corbin. It's just amazing. And if you're counting out the Commodores, don't, because they showed last week what can happen now that they've got a couple of key pitchers healthy. And that's all you need in a weekend is to have your pitchers on point. And Tim Corbin, he knows how to have a team peak at this time of the year. Now we get to see if Tony Vitello can do that in Knoxville. This is the second time in 3 years that they've done this. Now can they go and do and NCAA, baby, those committees, they love their storylines, don't they? If they win this weekend, super regional potentially against Wake Forest, and former pitcher who left in the portal, Chase Burns, coming back to Knoxville. So, and if you haven't watched the game at Knoxville this year, you're going to see some of the they've done improvements, expansions. Danny White, they won the overall sports competition trophy earlier this year. And what are they doing? They're spending money over there. They're expanding and fixing and improving facilities, and the baseball facilities. Those will be on show as they go. And they've got a couple guys who could be among the batch. There's like 19 players in this tournament overall who could be taken in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft. And there's some Vols who are already working their way up to the bigs as we speak. So for a program that has just gotten 5 SEC tournament championships, 2 of them have come in the last 3 years under the current coach. And, if they are playing Wake Forest, the AD is the guy who hired Tony V in Knoxville, John Curry, before he got pushed out for Philip Fulmer. I mean, storylines galore, baby.
Yeah.
Is this the year that the 1 seed, you brought it up, the 1 overall seed hadn't won it since they went to the new format? Is this the year? Can the Vols get it done and win the whole thing? Or what would need to happen for the Vols to get it done and win the whole thing?
CJ, I think it is for this reason. They are good in so many categories. They've got pitching. They can, they've got a home run hitter. They got several home run hitters. I mean, they've got guys who can mash the ball up and down the lineup, and they just seem to. They're doing a lot of. When you do a lot of really good stuff among the best in the country, I mean, this isn't a one-trick pony that they've got. And 50 wins. It's not easy to do that. They have not lost back-to-back games, I think, since March. So, they may drop a game, but they have been able to bounce right back, a quality that is never more important than at this time of the year. I mean, they lose their opener in the SEC tournament to Vanderbilt, and it'd be easy enough to think, let's go on home, let's get our rotation set, let's get a little rest. No, they fought back through the losers bracket to win the tournament. So, and even on Sunday, they could have, they had moments where they could have just said, let's just head back to Knoxville. Let's get some rest. We know we're number 1. And they didn't. They hung around, fought through to win another championship. And I think that when you can show the ability to bounce back and close and win titles, that does end up translating. And I think this will be the year.
From your mouth to the history of 1999. Let's all party like it. Teresa, I know that OTAs have begun. Like you said, you were out there yesterday. Before we get into what you've learned from the Titans so far, I wanted to talk to you about the NFLPA's proposal or reported proposal of a new workout program that would have training camp weeks starting earlier. So you would eliminate this period of rookie minicamp, voluntary workouts, OTAs, and you would push that all into late June, according to this proposal. I saw that Albert Breer reported the proposal is going over like the Hindenburg in that it is being seen as an absolute disaster. Do you foresee a future where OTAs and the timing of them could get moved where they just connect into normal training camp?
Absolutely. I mean, this idea didn't come out of nowhere,
right?
But trust me, it's going down like a lead balloon with reporters. Because if you cover anything in addition to the NFL, that is sacred time, okay? I try to take the first 2 to 3 weeks of July, and this will be my 28th NFL season. That is my time off. I'm not the only one. the NFL has had its circadian rhythms where, they've had their off-season program, then they take a break. And now I can see on paper where it makes sense. The build-up, ramp-up period, do the stuff that they're doing in the OTA program now. And next week, the Titans have a 3-day mandatory minicamp, and then they'll wrap up with a final OTA session on June 11th that's open to the media. And then they kind of break, right? And the veterans go. They have another week or two with the rookies, and then they get a break. And because here's the thing, when you come back for training camp, you don't end until your team is essentially eliminated, either by the end of the regular season or the playoffs. And if they end up adding an 18th game to the schedule, guys, that would be President's Day weekend in February. I mean, we're talking nearly 8 straight months of football. And yes. And that's just, that's insane. And it's like, Bill Callahan, having father and son on the same coaching staff, I'm struggling with it. Bill Callahan, he likes to go by Callie. So we'll do it that way. Callie said, I'll worry about that if we get closer to having to talk about it. But he didn't really want to go near there yet. I think it's one of those things, somebody threw it out there and it's like, well, what's the downside? There's lots of downside. And they're trying to compare it to that time where, with COVID, they added the extra ramp up period. And they have some data that's like, well, it seems like it works. Guys, no, the rest of the world is back to everything. And the rest of us are busy with everything. I've got Live Golf, and then the third weekend of June here in Franklin. And then I've got NASCAR at the end of June. It's like, and then this year, there's Olympics. I leave for the Olympics July 17th. I'm taking a few days for myself in Barcelona.
Ooh.
But yes. But that's the thing. There's just, this is not an NFL only calendar. I know that the NFL is the big dog, and the schedule was announced on May 15th. And literally they're trying to I had a story a week ago today. They're literally trying to play a game almost every single day of the week. Once they start playing games, quit taking over all of my calendar.
They already stole Christmas.
Yes.
Like you said, next they could steal Valentine's Day, President's Day.
Oh, yes.
I'm thinking about a lucky St. Patrick's
Martin
Day
Luther
with
King
NFL.
Day.
They're going to steal MLK Day. That's going to be
let
the
them
next
have it.
one.
Teresa, I hate it for you. Because if I was in your shoes, Teresa, I would feel the exact same way. Like, yo, we've got enough.
We need a break.
I need a break. But I'm not.
As a consumer,
I'm like,
nom, nom, nom.
I need to have it. I need to
Put
have
it on the spoon. Here comes the airplane.
It to me. Don't even airplane it. I don't need a spoon. I'm face first. I'm just diving in. Nom, 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 nom. Speaking of things that are needed, does Nashville need to host a Super Bowl? Wasn't that a storyline coming out of those meetings, Teresa?
Well, and trust me, the story that I heard whenever I brought it up, and trust me, the NFL owners got a tour of what is being called Titans House. Think of it as a show model. If you're selling a new subdivision, but it's a new stadium. And we got to look at it a week ago Monday, and it is really cool. They're going to be bringing PSL owners. They've already sold out like 23 all-inclusive suites to the building. And, they've got some floor level stuff that's similar to Jerry World down in Texas. And, they've got to start selling the seats for that place, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be bringing personal seat license owners in the current stadium through in waves, showing them. It's cool. I mean, all the design elements give you a feel of what the new Nissan Stadium is going to be like, right? And it's weird because right now the end zones to end zone mimic Cumberland River. Well, they're going to be turning it so that it's this way. The end zone will be closest to the river and the other end zone close to I-24. But, they take you they've got this massive model so you can literally look at what it's going to be. They've got little tables with little plastic people, trees, cars, lights,
plastic people,
a ring of video boards inside. And and then you can walk into a luxury suite and you can look at the view. They've got Amy Adams Strunk's view at the 50. But they can put you at the 20, the 30, the 40, wherever you might want to buy one. They've got the bar. They've got a patio. If you've seen the renderings, they've got all these porches outside so people can go out, have their beer during halftime or whatever. And, it's glamorous. So I can only imagine that with the committee that is helping bring events. They're larding the schedule to fill that building once it opens. And we were told they think this will be open by the start of February 2027. Now, what I heard from people at the NFL is like, everybody wants to host a Super Bowl. Duh. But here's the thing. The NFL has a little tradition. You build us a new building, we will come with a Super Bowl. It's just a matter of getting it in the schedule. So the next 3 Super Bowls are slotted. We've got New Orleans, and then I think it's Levi Stadium, the home of the Niners, and then SoFi gets it one more time. So they are slotted through 2027. Guys, by February 29, I am expecting Nashville to be hosting a Super Bowl. Why? Because of the track record the NFL has set for itself. And by the way, this building is going to be gorgeous.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Nashville just keeps booming. Just add everything. Now, all the bachelorettes need to make sure that they circle, when that Super Bowl is, so that their bachelorettes do not coincide with Super Bowl festivities. Or maybe they want it. Maybe they're into that kind of thing. And then it'll just be all hell with the pedal bars forever and always. And the woo-woo girls, Teresa, as I know you see them often. You were at Titans OTAs. You have a piece up at the Associated Press on how there is a Cincinnati flavor in Tennessee now, which obviously makes a whole lot of sense with Brian Callahan being the new coach. But what has stood out to you as the biggest difference so far in what you've seen from this Titans group?
In the trenches, in the size, watching J.C. Latham and, just push that sled, the one
What's
that
the
was
name of the sled again?
Either it was Olga or Bertha.
Yeah.
And I just loved, this is the thing. Bill Callahan, Lloyd Cushenberry, the new center, he was talking about having a conversation with Bill Callahan, who can remember in details, by plays, games from like 2009. He's a walking football encyclopedia. And he literally designed a couple of these sleds, Olga and Bertha, and, designed for these guys to get up. And J.C. Latham struggled with it his first time out. He was owning that sled yesterday, okay? Your new Tennessee Titans left tackle, and, guys like Peter Skoronski, who's, coming back at left guard. It's amazing when you're not recovering from an emergency appendectomy and you've had an off season to build muscle. You are a big dude. They have got size. They've got bulk on the offensive line. Devondre Sweat, didn't see him. It looks like he may have done a little something last week, but he is a big, big man as well. And you put him next to Jeffrey Simmons, they are going to be mauling people in the trenches. And Denard Wilson, the new defensive coordinator, said to us a month or so ago, that's where you take control of games. And they are in position with these behemoths to do that. And the scary thing is, watching J.C. Latham, he is a big man who moves like he is just lean and lithe and an athlete. And it's like, that's a little scary. And I just can't wait to see this. I saw odds yesterday that had the Titans favored in one game all season in a 17-game schedule. Folks, don't place your bets just yet. I think the national folks are sleeping on this team. It's like they haven't noticed that, one, there's a brand new coaching staff, and two, they got rid of so many of the players who were hurt. They have a new guy in charge of the performance program. To the extent that you can remake, that is the NFL. And example one is a year ago, the Houston Texans had a brand new coach, brand new rookie quarterback, and had finished last in their division. And then they go win the AFC South and win a playoff game. Yes, it can happen. It has happened like 19 of the last whatever seasons in the NFL. If you make the right moves, you are rewarded. And right now, the flavor in Nashville isn't skylight chili, thank God. But Bill Callahan, Brian Callahan, all these people, Chidobe Awuzie, Tyler Boyd on the offensive side, they are doing some interesting things. I can't wait to watch. And Will Levis, throwing balls, it's air. Don't get too excited. But, when they are calling Treylon Burks a freak, a stud in waiting, guys, they have a receiving core on paper that they have never had since they moved to this state.
Hold on,
literally.
wait, Teresa, wait. Treylon Burks, are we still how? He's been in the league 3 years. Has he?
He's been in the league. This is his third year. Two things. For the people wanting to trade him, shush up. No.
Shush.
You won't get anything in trade value for it. He's an 18th pick overall. Now, he's had injuries. He's had this. He's had that. He's been knocked out in each of his first 2 years. He has one touchdown pass. I know this. Trust me, I know this. But he is a physical freak. And guys who have done it in this league, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, and Tyler Boyd, look at this man and say he is a freak. He is a stud in waiting. Just calm down. We know what he can know. But, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins was asked about him last week and refused to give any kind of a comment that could even come close to being seen as negative. He said 9, and that's German for no.
Wait, hold on.
We're back to Olga and Bertha now.
But Teresa, and it's his third year. There would have been a pop somewhere in a game by now, wouldn't there have been, if there was something like significant there?
He's had flashes. I mean, his first and only touchdown catch, he caught it in the end zone for a touchdown in Philadelphia on a play he was knocked out. I mean, and he held on to the ball. The play that knocked him out of the game in Pittsburgh, he high pointed and it was a great catch. Now he came down out of bounds, but here's the thing. Not like he had a whole lot of help. Nick Westbrook-Akina had been the other guy. Now, DeAndre Hopkins was here last year, and he showed what you can do. New offense, new wide receivers coach, new offense, okay, can revive somebody in a hurry. And he's been here, and he's been working with these guys, and he's been learning in that room. When you've got DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd, who've been in this league for a minute, insisting that they believe in you, I think that helps rebuild the confidence. And Traylon Burke said yesterday, this offense reminds me of what I did in college at Arkansas, where, and his wide receivers coach, I know that guy dominated against Alabama. I watched him against LSU defenses. I know what he can do. Call it the reclamation project, if you will. But they believe in him. They see why he was an 18th pick overall. Do not write him off yet.
It's May 30th, and you're going to mess around and have CJ doing something reckless, like picking the Titans to win the AFC South again, Teresa.
No.
Lessons have not been learned.
I will not be doing that.
Teresa, as always, you are the best. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Teresa.
See you next week. Bye. That was Teresa Walker. You can find all her work at the Associated Press. You can follow her on Twitter at Teresa M. Walker. You want to know how I knew OTAs were going on, CJ? I was scrolling on TikTok the other day. And speaking of the Cincinnati Bengals, whoever runs the Bengals social media, particularly their TikTok, they know what they're doing. Nothing but Joe Burrow thirst traps. It's Joe Burrow thirsty season. They are playing $1 Million Baby with Joe Burrow just running with his hair flowing in the wind. And all the girlies in the comments are like, I love football again. And I'm like, who needs Taylor Swift when you have Joe Burrow thirst traps?
That's the thing I haven't understood about men's sports. Like,
they don't market the sex enough.
Lean into the sexuality of these dudes, man. Get these women, because women are thirsty. Yes. I've watched sporting events with women who don't really care about sports, and all they do is, I like the dreads on him. Well, you look at the haunches on that one. Those arms can wrap me up any day, right? Like, you got to lean into that. You've got to lean into that. Joe Burrow rocking the Anakin Skywalker, like, he's an attractive dude. He's always been attractive. Something about the eyes and lip combination that does it for the ladies, right? He's always been attractive. You've got to lean into it if you really want to bring these women over. You already got them coming over with Taylor. Lean into the sex appeal of these dudes. It's 53 dudes on the NFL roster. At least 10 of them are drop dead gorgeous. Like, lean into it.
The top comments that come up when I pull up the Joe Burrow $1 Million Baby Cincinnati Bengals TikTok. The hair, it's giving. How many times did I watch this? Yes. Yeah. Please protect my baby this season. Joe Burrow has made me a Bengals fan. I want him to have an arm sleeve so bad. So happy to be back on the Joe Burrow side of TikTok.
So thirsty.
Star emoji, Joe Burrow season. Star emoji, in JB I trust. If the Bengals respond, if Joe Burrow responds, I'll become a lifelong Bengals fan.
So thirsty.
And people were excited because there was the picture of his hair being a little too long. His hair is perfectly situated, just has the nice flow. That picture was
There are some handsome
inaccurate.
dudes out there playing football. Some dudes who, if the NFL did like a a swimsuit calendar of these dudes, I go, yeah, the women would come. The women would come.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to draft things you do at the beach, but also wanted to get through some of the details that we found out from various reports on the new EA college football game. It drops in July, but we're going to slurp up every piece of content we get.
What are we doing?
I'm so sorry.
What are we doing?
I didn't mean to. We'll talk about that game. CJ had a funny text that he saw and drafting best things to do at the beach after a quick break.
Royal Flush Tour 2024. November 14th, FedEx Forum. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guests. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Heart with Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Produced by AEG Presents.
Let's talk about MVPs.
Let's do it. I went with the Joker.
Oh my God,
Nikola
Nikola freaking Jokic.
Every time I watch him play, I am so impressed.
I'm obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Everything he does works. He can pass, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can drive, he can defend. Like, he can do everything.
He can lead the fast break, and he's like 7-1.
IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Mike did his favorite black films of all time. Mike, where we at?
If there's one movie I know every single line to, it is Coming to America.
There we go.
It is Coming to America. It can come on any time of any day, and I'm going to stop and watch at least 20 minutes of it.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
36.5 vertical?
Watch your head.
Yeah, you said it was 44.
You sure I said it?
36 and a half.
36 and a half is big.
36 and a half. I've got bench press here.
18 times.
17.
Okay.
You always have to put a little barbecue
It's all barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce on the wings.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Marge Simpson?
Come on, Bennett. You'd hook up with Marge Simpson?
Yeah. You ever see the ones with her hair, she lets her hair down?
You're attracted to Marge Simpson.
Marge is cute.
Cute?
Legacy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I respect her.
Yeah.
But she ain't Jessica Rabbit.
No, she's not Jessica Rabbit. She's not Jessica Rabbit. No.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yes, CJ.
I enjoy that Gary promo a whole lot. Of all the promos that exist on this network,
Justice for Marge Simpson.
that's the one I enjoy the most right now. And
I hope Marge sees it.
I think at one point we need to draft most attractive cartoon characters,
I
most
think that
bangable
feels-
cartoon characters.
I don't think we can do most bangable cartoon
can't- why
characters. It feels a little objectify-y.
So? So what do you mean?
I can't objectify my fellow cartoon women.
Why would you? Are you not attracted to Beast?
Yes, like a little, but not.
I mean,
a lot.
not a lot.
I do love the metamorphosis of the Beast becoming sexy prince.
So you like the
Prince Eric.
So you could draft like,
Aladdin.
Yeah, Aladdin does it for you.
I think Aladdin's cute.
Aladdin feels
And he's
kind of
fun.
like scrawny.
He's gonna take you on a
little
magic
too
carpet
scrawny.
ride, though. Yeah, but he knows how to get around.
Hey,
He knows how to problem solve.
knows his way around
Yeah.
the magic
I
carpet.
feel like he'd be a lot of fun.
Kicks it on rugs a lot.
I hate you.
What? He does know his way around the carpet.
Before we get to draft day, the countdown to EA college football game is on. That game comes out in July. I cannot tell you the last time I was reading articles and listening to a podcast about a future video game, but here we are in May, and that's exactly what I did yesterday after we finally got some of the reports from, there was a variety of reporters and YouTubers who were invited to try out the new EA college football game, and they have shared what they've learned. They couldn't take pictures, they couldn't take videos because some of the things within the game are still being worked out. There's fixes to be made. There were some bugs along the way that they said is to be expected. The game still doesn't come out until July, so plenty of time to make things work with that. But Chris Vanini over at The Athletic had a very detailed account of the experience, and one of the things that sounds like it's going to be the most fun is the sheer game experience from the stadiums, from the traditions, which was to be expected, but apparently it's very detailed. Bummer that we will not have Enter Sandman. There is no Enter Sandman in the College Football 25 game. Metallica is apparently quite expensive. Same goes for Jump Around. So if you're playing a game at Camp Randall, you will not have the Jump Around moment.
How many times do you need to see those in the video
Just
game?
once.
Like once, right? So that's not a big deal to not have those two things.
I agree. And apparently they use an automated rock song that sounds similar. It's not the same, but it sounds similar. But you are going to get Zombie Nation, Sandstorm, Tsunami, and you see the little Army cadets coming down. Mo Bamba, so you can re-experience the Penn State, Michigan delay of game on the first play of the game if you so choose in this world. It sounds like that is the coolest element. The controller vibrates based on who has the best atmosphere at a stadium. Some other little notes along the way. Oregon has 20-plus uniform combos, which just might make me, I don't know, it feels sacrilegious to choose a world beater like Oregon in my hypothetical
you can't start,
video game universe.
You cannot start with Oregon. You have to earn the right to coach the Ducks.
It goes back to my starting at Hawaii. That feels like a natural progression, a West Coast progress. Hawaii, I'd love to go to USC, but 20-plus uniform combos at Oregon.
How many times do we see a coach at insert major college program here leave for their alma mater? Their alma mater comes a-calling.
I was very sad to find out that Vanderbilt Stadium will be represented post-construction. I was somewhat hopeful that they would include the construction because that would be the reality. And visiting teams, you could see them using like just the outside space, the mock locker rooms that teams had to experience at Vanderbilt last season. Northwestern and Kansas are using their pre-new stadiums. Penn State has a whiteout. Tennessee has the checkerboard. Boise State has a stripeout. We've seen the turnover chain that's used at Oregon State. The waterfalls at Arkansas State even get some treatment there. All of the mascots, all the live mascots are in it, from Ralphie to Bevo. I'm just so excited to play this game, and I cannot wait for July to come and for me to re-enter my video game status.
I didn't know people were this excited about this part of the game.
So excited.
I'm just excited to sit down and play. That might just be me.
So the play side of it, he said that running the ball is really fun.
Yes.
Like the AI changes that they've made on blocking.
I'm a tater-toter.
Tater-toter through and through.
I might start running the triple option.
Don't get crazy.
Don't
get crazy.
I did that and got fired from Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky put it on the hardest level I could. It's like, all right, we're running the triple option at Western.
Well.
The second year I was there, we almost upset LSU.
Almost.
At LSU. Number one overall, almost got that. And that win would have set me up for the rest of the game. We just couldn't hold on to it down the stretch.
You can run the slow mesh at Wake Forest. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I've got to figure out how to run RPOs. Are we running RPOs in this also?
Yes. And
I need to figure out how to run that.
There's also different pitches. Okay. Like you can select different kinds of pitches. And I guess the two more complicated are passing plays and kicks. And like the meter is difficult to figure out. Creates a level of difficulty.
Good, because way too often
too easy
for college kickers, right? If I'm a college kicker and I'm kicking from the 49-yard field goal on the road, that should be a little bit more difficult. It should be. I'm glad that they're fixing that.
And they said that when they were trying it out, like there was a missed kick that decided a game. Could not tell. It was so loud in the area they were playing. Couldn't tell if there's a doink sound effect. but I think that would be a nice little cherry on top.
A nice,
Just a little doink here
to
and there.
Florida State wide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just maybe a double doink.
Oh, I can't. Do you know all the various things I would break if I lost the game on a double doink?
Double doink in the comfort of your own home?
Yeah, I'd break.
Controller at the TV, phone on the ground.
Those two are breaking. The phone is absolutely
Remote
breaking.
might break.
The couch the way I would jump up and down on the couch, that might break also. I had one of those, the clear controllers we were doing once upon a time. I had one of those. I ended up throwing the interception that I think cost me a game at Penn State. And I hurled that controller, put a hole in the wall, and just shattered the controller. Couldn't play anymore because I only had one controller. I'm going to have to make sure my anger management is in check.
Okay. You sent a text to
Dude, stop doing
Slack.
this.
Did you see this in the wild?
I saw this. I do believe this is from the Gist on Instagram.
Okay.
I do believe that's where the text is from. So the text reads, "Dudette." Well, are we going to role play this or are we just, okay, do you want to be the dudette or the dude?
I'll be the dudette.
Okay. You say you like baseball. I've never met a girl who likes baseball.
Asterisk, love.
Okay, then, name 3 NL East teams. In the next 10 seconds, no Google. Ready, go.
It was nice to have met you, and maybe it was brave of you to ask this question, but it's somewhat insulting. I could Phillies you in on the answer, but I'll have to pass. It seems to be a Nationals problem with me trying to expose. Bonus, girls for not being real sports fans instead of taking your word for it. But don't worry, you know what they say. There's other marlins in the sea.
What are you doing? If she says she's interested in it, like, okay, ask her a legit question. Like, hey, what do you think about the NL East?
Sure.
Right? Like, that's a way.
Who's your favorite team?
Who's your favorite team?
player?
What's the pitching situation like for the Phillies right now? Okay, what about the Braves? Right? Like, there are legitimate questions you can ask to have a legitimate conversation with these women who are sports fans. And I'm sorry, you're one of those.
Thank you.
And I might be stepping on some toes and boundaries here, but I'm a man. I know more than you. Shut up while I explain this to the dudes.
Okay.
You don't have to do that.
No.
Like, you could say, and it happens with T-shirts and anime and things of that nature. A woman will come up or a young lady will come up and just in course of conversation, she will reveal that, hey, you know what, I'm kind of into sports or I'm into anime or I like this rock band or what have you. And immediately these dweebs come up like, oh, well, name, da-da-da-da-da. No, have a conversation. That's not how you have a conversation.
I forgot my number 2 pencil. I didn't come to take a test today.
Yeah, you're quizzing them. You're testing them. Like, no, talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're people at the end of the day.
If you want to play trivia, at least buy me a drink first.
Yeah, like, don't be trying to play trivia with these folks all the damn time. Just have a conversation. We don't know how to talk to women. And that is, I didn't know it was this bad. It is astounding how bad dudes are at talking to women. Just talk to them. You like the NL East? Oh, why do you like the NL East? Well, what do you think about the Acuna injury? What do you think about all these other things that are happening? Oh, you like anime? Cool. What's your favorite one? Let's talk about that. Mine is this. What do you think about that? No, instead is, oh, you're not a real fan. Prove it. Name all of these teams. Like, what are we doing?
If that guy wrote back and was like, oh, that was clever, let's go on a date, I think that she should respond, no thank you. Seems like our relationship is already on the Rockies, and unless he wants to give me a diamond back, I'm going to make you dodge her.
Well, then if you do that, you got to finish up the NL West. You only did 3 teams.
I know.
Like, you can't do that.
Yes, you can. You can pick and you can do what you want. Talking to somebody like that, do what you want.
Gotcha.
There's no win in that situation.
Just
All right,
talk to
let's
him.
draft something. It is draft
What are we
day.
drafting?
We are drafting best things to do at the beach.
Okay.
Best things to do at the beach. It is the unofficial start of summer. Memorial Day weekend has come and gone. This is the season to go to the beach and do what? We will find out. First pick will go to either CJ or I, based on whatever fun-filled way we have to select first pick, which is the duck race. Yay! Are you Donald Trump?
Yes!
You're a Trump duck.
Yes! You know Trump's doing
Are you
well
going
with
to
the
prison?
blacks. He's doing well with the blacks, Jessica.
Okay.
He is.
Do I have a strawberry on my head?
You do, and look at Donald Trump
come
coming
on.
up strong. The Donald does. Shout out Donald Trump, the duck. I appreciate that. Hey, he's polling at 18% of the black vote in the last election. I think he polled at like 9%, so he's getting double the black vote. I'm just saying.
Okay.
The blacks like the Donald Trump. Jessica, it's the shoes and it's the criminal record. That's what the blacks like.
Okay.
Number 1 overall pick, sex on the beach. The drink. Give me the drink to sip on at the beach. Sipping on drinks at the beach is perfect. That's nice. That's good stuff.
Well done.
Thank you.
A nice tropical drink, a fruity drink.
And that's what sex on the beach is.
It is.
Just a nice.
I want to see what they're going to write.
A nice tropical drink. You can put sex on the beach. I've said it. I'm gonna keep saying sex on the beach because I want that in the clip. But a nice tropical drink. When we went to Cozumel, they gave me a sex on the beach in a coconut, and so I still have the coconut cup. It's outstanding. Thank you, Jacob. Good job, baby.
To be clear, drinking on the beach is worthy of a number 1 overall pick. The other sex on the beach, I don't think is worthy of a number overall pick.
Why
so
not?
I appreciate because it's disgusting.
What do you mean it's disgusting?
It's uncomfortable. It's sandy. There's
Sand
little
does get a lot of
creatures.
lot
There's
of places.
bugs. There can be bites. It's really, I mean, if you talk to an OBGYN, they will tell you that is like the number 1 thing that you should not do, no matter how many precautions that you take. I don't know. I had a friend. who had an uncomfortable situation once upon a time.
If you're on the beach, from what I hear,
right.
Never done it, but a friend of mine has. Sand gets in places it's not supposed to be, 1. 2, if you in the water, you're throwing pH off, dog.
Oh, yeah. The water is problematic because of the salt thing. But also, if you're out of the water, you have to be concerned about tides. Like I don't know how short or long this hypothetical situation is.
My friend is pretty long.
Things can move. Water can move. And if maybe you sought refuge someplace, by the end, there's water there. And then
if you got
to the drinks.
If you got a rocky shoreline as well, like rocks aren't super comfortable. And all of that comes before we talk about maybe getting caught. Right? Because you got to be.
That's problematic
you're out
as
in
well.
public. You can't be getting caught on the beach.
You should not do that. You could be a registered sex offender.
Can you?
Yeah, if there are children around. Or have been or in the vicinity, I would assume.
Well, I'm assuming you're not doing it at 1 p.m. I would think you'd have the decency.
I saw some people in Central Park a couple weeks ago, and woo.
Wait, they were?
Yeah, you didn't see that video? Oh, I'll send it to you. They were just under a blanket and everyone knew what was happening.
Let's turn up then.
All right, my number 1 thing to do at the beach is sleep. As an expert napper, no nap is better than a beach nap. If I was drafting best naps, beach nap would be at the very top of the list because you get the sweet sounds of the waves crashing. There's something about it. It's like a white noise machine. And then you get the smell of the salty air. Sometimes you also get the additional sounds of the little birdies in the sky. You can have the light sound of people in the distance if you're far away. Obviously, if you're in giant crowds, maybe not so much. But if it's just the trickle of children laughing down the beach, there's just something so relaxing about it. And it can start as a light meditation. And the next thing you know, you're in a beautiful nap and you wake up and hopefully you put sunscreen on.
Okay.
Or you're burned.
That's good. That was on my list.
Beautiful.
If I'm at a beach and I'm gonna be drinking sex on the beach or some other tropical drink, I might take a nap. But the nap will come, I will drink, and the nap will come after I play in the water. We got to get out in them waves.
Yeah.
We got to get out in them waves. We got to get into the water, play in the water, because that's the whole point of that's the allure to me of being at the beach. Getting in the water, getting as far out as you can, and then just kicking it in the water. You don't have to worry about the sun beating down on you because most of your body is in the water. And you just kick there and just float on your back, float on your face, dip man style, kick your legs in a circle, and just do your arms like this and float in the water. I was in Honolulu a while back. And I'm in the water, just kicking it, just having a beach day. And a surfer came up to me and said, "Hey, you know there are sea turtles at your feet?" I was like, "What?" Those are the types of cool things that can happen to you in the water. So yeah, give me play in the water.
Good one. There's nothing better than the buoyancy of just going in the waves.
I love a good wave. I love a good wave.
I love a wave pool. I don't even have to be if I'm at a water park.
The beach is a wave pool on steroids.
Exactly.
It's incredible, those waves. But I'm with you. I love a good wave pool as well.
All right, my number 2 pick. I am going to take long walks. Long walks on the beach. Maybe they're at night. Maybe they're in the morning. There is something just very peaceful about walking on the beach, taking a look at everything around you from the water to the sky. Maybe it's at sunset. There's a reason why when some people fill out their dating profile, the cliche to put is, "I enjoy long walks on the beach." It's just a fact. Long walks on the beach are perfect.
That's a good one. I was thinking about specific times to walk, but I think that if you take walk on the beach, you get
Anytime.
it. Walking in the moonlight on the beach is really, really fun. That's
night walk is
a
great.
night walk.
A sunrise walk is also if you happen to be up.
Speaking of sunrise,
Okay.
give me watch the sunrise over the water. Watching the sunrise. That's a beautiful experience. I've done it a couple of times on cruises and various trips to the beach. Not much is better than watching the sunrise while you're sitting on the beach. I love it. Give me that.
Good one. I'm going to go with snorkel to look at the little fishies in the deep blue sea. I'm not cool enough to be a scuba diver. I'm too scared to be a scuba diver, but there's something so easy about putting a little snorkel mask on with the little breathing machine thingy mabob that you breathe out of.
I think that's just called the snorkel
breathing
mask.
tube.
I think
is the breathing tube just a part of the snorkel mask?
I think so.
Okay, well, they all come together in a set. And then just floating on your stomach, looking down at all of the fishies in the sea. And turtles sometimes, and stingrays, and other sea creatures that can come up. And then also having a little adrenaline, like, what if I saw a shark? What would I do?
Is there a difference in snorkeling and deep sea diving?
Yes.
Okay, so is deep sea diving part of the beach?
Sure.
Then that's what I will take.
Okay.
What I really wanted to take was like wild animal viewing.
I know. I thought about that.
Hunting, right? Because you've got the crabs on the beach.
Yes.
And you've got other animals on the beach. You've got the seagulls overhead, and then you get into the water. There's an assortment of fish and sea turtles and a bunch of other cool creatures that you can see. But if you're taking snorkel, I will take deep sea diving and get down there deep and maybe stumble across a shark.
Then you want to be in a cage.
Or maybe, well, depending on the size of the shark, right?
Or the jellies.
The jellyfish, that's terrifying. I hope to never come across a jellyfish. Maybe I dive deep enough to see the Titanic. Who knows?
Who knows? Billionaires have tried. Why not you?
Why not?
Why not me?
Well, one, we're poor. That's the first reason why.
And number one, we don't have $20 billion. Number two, wouldn't do it. I do think if you are looking at animals, I'm not going to take this, but like there's nothing better than trying to see dolphins. And then if you see a dolphin, you're like, oh, a dolphin. Oh.
Have you seen a dolphin at a beach?
Yeah.
Which beach? What was that like?
When Chris and I went to Destin, we went on a dolphin sunset cruise and we saw the dolphins do the doo-doo. It was so cool.
Whoa.
I lost my mind. But see, that's what happened. You see the dolphin and you're so excited about what you're seeing. All right, I am going to do a beach bonfire. Like having a bonfire on the beach at night with friends or a loved one or just yourself, and the mix of the smell of fire with the salty smells of the ocean. That's like a top smell sense moment. And just the warmth as well. Sometimes it gets a little chilly on the beach at night, and there's just something very comforting about sitting around the fire on a beach in a relaxing setting and living your best life.
Okay, so last pick.
Your last pick.
I am surprised that reading hasn't been taken yet.
I knew you'd call me a nerd, so I didn't take it. This is how bullying works.
That's a good pick. It is a nerd pick. You've got to be you've got to be confident in yourself. What are you doing here? That would have been that's a damn good
right.
pick.
You can have it.
Listen,
if you dare.
I wouldn't read on the beach because I'm not as avid a reader as you are. My wife loves reading on the beach. Other readers I know love reading on the beach.
Yes.
So, like, if that's something you want to do, like, you should absolutely take it. Why do you care what I think? What I think doesn't matter.
Well, actually, my hot take is that I actually don't love to read on the beach. I love to read at the pool.
Got you.
So if there's a pool beach situation, I would do my reading at the pool. When I'm on the beach, I like to soak in the beachiness of it.
Got you. Volleyball. Give me beach volleyball.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. Just any sort of like, because when I'm at the beach, I want to be doing stuff nonstop. I want to be active at the beach. I feel the beach brings out more activity for me than, like you said, maybe at a pool.
Right.
I can just stand in a pool or put my feet in a pool at the beach. I want to be doing stuff in volleyball on the land. That's a lot of fun. I can, drink my sex on the beach while playing volleyball and then, get in the water and then take a nap.
Take a nap.
Yeah.
I'm with you. That's how I operate. I like to do things. I will say I am shocked that you didn't take what Tribe in the chat suggested, which is staring at babes. This feels like a top tier beach activity for some people.
At a certain point, don't we get too old to do that?
That's lovely.
Like, at a certain point, I've seen a bunch of babes of a bunch of different shapes, sizes, colors, and creeds.
Yeah.
Like there's not a new babe under the sun. Now, if one
There
walks,
are many babes under the sun.
there's many of them, many beautiful ones. But I feel like I've seen that general archetype of a babe. Now, if one walks by, one walks by, and the head will,
right.
Like that's what
Natural.
happens. But I'm not
Natural
going to the beach to be
Just
like,
seek out the babes.
let me people watch the women.
Gotcha.
No,
Good.
I'm not
That's
doing
on
that.
growth. With my final pick, I'm going to take throwing a football or throwing a ball.
I thought about
throwing
frisbee.
something.
I
How
thought about
throwing
frisbee on there
things?
as well. Yeah.
I love a good toss. A good toss on the beach. We had little like paddles where we were doing just paddle balling to one another, but I'm not taking it. I specifically want to throw something and have to run through the sand and maybe lay my body on the line for a catch. Like I want to pretend there is no time that I feel closer to being a wide receiver when I have the safety of soft sand beneath me and I can actually leap to try to make a great football grab on the beach. What did you miss?
I should have grabbed some seashells. Collecting seashells from the beach.
Well, now we can talk things that we did not get.
Hey,
would you like to switch? I've done it before.
Get rid of volleyball, Jacob. We're gonna collect seashells. Seashells at the beach. Grabbing
Seashells,
those.
seashells by the seashore.
Straight by the beach. Straight from the beach.
Do you
I
take
love
them
that.
home?
No.
Me neither. I leave them in their home. I like to look at them.
Well, I pick them up. I
Me
play
too.
with them for a little bit, and then like I might move it inadvertently. I think when I was younger, I would grab them and have a pile of them, and be like, oh yeah, these are coming back with me, and then they would never come back with me, and so they just stayed in a pile at the beach. Now I just see them and leave them be for the most part.
I like that.
Seashells. That's a good one.
Things I didn't take. Eat a sweet treat. I love like a snow cone or an ice cream or a popsicle on the beach.
Yeah.
Fly a kite.
Mm-hmm.
Paddleboard.
That would have been a good one.
Specifically, it kind of goes with playing in the water.
But I think that's a little paddleboarding
like
and surfing are
boogie
different.
boarding, body surfing.
Yeah.
All of those kind of fit in that spot. Renting a jet ski. I've never done that, but it looks fun.
Yeah, I've never done it either. That's why it wasn't on my list.
Bury someone in the sand.
Like that doesn't feel.
I don't want to be buried, but I enjoyed the bury. When I was a kid, I loved to bury my dad in the sand. That was great fun. Building a sandcastle, another thing that I don't love, but some people feel a certain kind of way
That was
about.
a great episode of the Rugrats. I feel like they built the sandcastle at the beach. Yeah.
And then writing things in the sand, like when you're right up on the water where it's a little harder, and then you write messages in the sand. I used to love that. I wrote who I was in love with, and the waves would wash it away.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
Nice.
What a time. Let's go to the beach. Let's go get away.
What was that? What is that?
Starships were meant to fly.
Is that in that song?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Let's go to the beach. Let's go get away.
Okay.
Why
Why are you still doing that? I'm so confused.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do Theater Thursday, some movie news, also very, very big actual theater news that I am so excited to share with CJ. I'll tell him what it is after a quick break.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response. Capitalize on every opportunity. And win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by April 30th. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
If you look at it, as far as the number 9 pick over the years, there's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
36 and a half vertical.
Watch your
Yeah,
head.
you said it was 44.
You sure I said that?
36 and a half.
36 and a half is big.
36 and a half. I've got bench press here.
18 times.
17.
Okay.
You always have to put a little barbecue
It's
sauce.
all barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce on the wings.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The Grizz Girls are no ordinary dance team. They're known across the NBA for setting the standard for world-class dance and entertainment. From hip-hop to jazz, the Grizz Girls do it all. And they're looking for talented dancers with dynamic personalities to join the team. Do you have what it takes to join a premier NBA dance team and entertain Grizz Nation both on the court and in the community? Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information and show us what you've got at open auditions Saturday, July 13th. It is Theater Thursday. We've got a lot of movie news to get to, but before we get to that, there was actually significant Broadway news yesterday. Like, maybe the biggest Broadway news of the last couple of years. Broadway news that I have been waiting for over a decade. And I woke up this morning and it's all I wanted to talk about. Poor Chris Luther, who does not care. And he said, save it for CJ in the show. And I said, gladly. So you know how you feel about Marvel
Yes.
and anything superhero or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That's how I feel about this. And you often have to help me understand what makes something so big. So I'm going to try to help you understand what makes this so big.
I can't lie to you, right? I'm already excited.
Okay.
If this is how you set up that damn PEST stat, I would have been excited about PEST stats.
Noted, and will be better next time. Okay, do you know who Audra McDonald is?
Name sounds familiar.
Okay, she's in a show most recently called The Gilded Age, but it's not a huge show. She was in that Rustin movie that Coleman Domingo was in that you saw.
All right.
So she was in that. She played
Give me the name again.
Audra McDonald.
Audra McDonald.
She played the wardrobe in the live-action Beauty and the Beast that came out in 2017, but she's most notably a Broadway star. Like, she is one of the voices of our generation. She has 6 Tonys. She has the voice of an actual angel. She played Billie Holiday in the Billie Holiday musical that then got turned into a movie that I believe was on HBO Max. But her star continues to grow outside of the theater world. Okay, next up. Have you ever heard of a musical called Gypsy?
Yes.
What do you know about Gypsy?
Nothing.
It's about strippers, so I feel like I could really hook you on that.
Oh, I love a good gentleman ballerina.
Yes, absolutely. It's a family drama, but stripping is in the midst of it. And one time I saw it when I was a kid, and they accidentally turned the lights off too late, and there's a big clothing drop reveal. There's not supposed to be any nudity, but little Jessie B at age 10 was like, I want to be a stripper too. Anywho, Gypsy is one of the Broadway classics. So it came out in the 1950s. It was written by Broadway legendary playwright, director Arthur Lawrence. Stephen Sondheim did the lyrics, but Jewel Stein did the music. So they combined together. One of the most famous songs from it is Everything's Coming Up Roses. I think they've used it on commercials where they're like, everything's coming up roses.
That's how I know it.
Okay.
Because of that song.
There's that song, and then there's Let Me Entertain You, Let Me See You Smile. That one's been in commercials as well.
Okay.
We're lost, but we're back. This show has been iconic. The first person who played the title role of Mama Rose was the Ethel Merman, Broadway legend. Who follows up from Ethel Merman? Angela Lansbury. The Tale as Old as Time, Murder, She Wrote, Angela Lansbury. And after her, I believe it went Tyne Daly, Bernadette Peters, Patti LuPone, and now we found out yesterday that Audra McDonald.
She's gonna do it?
She's gonna do it, CJ.
What?
She's gonna do it. The role of Mama Rose is going to Audra McDonald. Some, maybe myself, would call her our greatest musical theater actress, is playing the greatest musical theater part in the last handful of decades. Like 10 years ago, I remember thinking, we haven't had a Gypsy revival in a while. I think Audra McDonald should be in it. And now she's old enough to play it. My leg is over the chair. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I will be booking my tickets. Previews start November 21st. If there's a Grizzlies game, I'm so sorry. I won't be here. I want to be there opening night.
You need to be there opening night?
I would like to. It's not a necessity. But here's the thing.
What's the thing? This is
Not
exciting.
just-
This is exhilarating. My heart is like
It's not
pounding
just,
through my
this is huge.
chest.
You don't understand. I had a friend. Everything's falling. I just had a friend call me, and he was like, we have to talk about the Audra McDonald news. And I said, please hold. I'm on a show. This fall in Broadway, there are now 3 huge productions coming. So Audra McDonald and Gypsy. Nicole Scherzinger of the Pussycat Dolls. She has been in this show called Sunset Boulevard. It's also a revival. It's being played in the West End. She's apparently phenomenal. She's a star. Like, Nicole Scherzinger can sing. Like, sing.
I mean, we knew that. She was singing in Pussycat Dolls. She was the lead
but
in Pussycat
transfers.
Dolls.
It comes from pop Pussycat Dolls
Okay, so everybody's
theatrical
singing.
star.
Everybody's singing just regular songs. It doesn't always transfer
No,
over.
because you have to, and it's acting and emoting and like being big
Gotcha.
on the stage and
Gotcha.
having like the person in the last row of the stage has to feel the same thing as the person in the front row.
Got you.
She's apparently great.
Okay.
And then there's also a version of, are you familiar with the movie Death Becomes Her?
No.
It was like a Goldie Hawn. Bruce Willis was in it. It was a 90s movie.
Okay.
Anyway, it's like a cult classic.
Gotcha.
It's being made.
Oh.
It stars 2 people you're not going to know, Megan Hilty and Jennifer Samard, who are stars in their own right. Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child. And all these women. It is going to be the diva off of all diva offs on Broadway, and I need to go see all 3. So I'm starting to save my pennies now. This is my Marvel moment.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible.
I know.
How are you going to be able to afford Argentina
I don't know.
in this?
I don't know. The good thing is they open in November, so that means they'll at least have a run until probably like early spring.
Okay.
And so I can watch a lot of dogs.
All right.
If you want me to watch your dog, that reminds me, I have a dog text that I need to answer. I'm sorry. Somebody out there who watches these shows, I will answer you today. I'm thrilled. What have you watched?
I might be watching Broadway.
You should.
I might. JBS on the road. Let's go. Let's do it.
I told Chris, I wish theater reporters made money. My God.
I watched. Why do I want to say Judas and the Black Messiah? That's not what I watched. I watched.
The other one that was like that.
Throw the graphic up. The
I know
Lakeith
what you're-
Stanfield one. Book of Clearance.
How was it?
It was good. I
Okay.
enjoyed it. To me, the theme that stood out the most was just community and how the community rallies. The community's going to beef. Community's going to individuals in the community are going to beef. They're going to disagree. There's going to be some moments where it's like, oh, I really don't like that person. But when outside people start trying to come in and take members of your community away, the community it absolutely rallies around one another. Book of Clarence. I didn't catch it in theaters. I forget what was going on, but I didn't get to see it in theaters. It centers around what basically amounts to a con man / drug dealer in biblical times, in Jesus' time specifically, and him trying to find a way to avoid being punished for something that he did, and he's being punished by basically a bookie of the time. And we know how bookies punish people. They're not legal.
Right.
They take kneecaps out and torture and maim and all of that stuff. So he's trying to find a way to avoid that. He's also in love with the bookie's sister, which adds another twist to it. And by the way, the disciples and Jesus are floating about doing their thing as well. There's a literal float scene in there. It reminded me. I think Lakeith Stanfield is a great actor. He plays roles perfectly. It reminded me some of what was the Boots Riley movie with him in it. Sorry to bother you. It was odd in that same sort of odd way. Really fun, really creative, but odd. And it was still a good movie. Sorry,
Okay.
I love Sorry to Bother You, and I really enjoyed this movie as well. And there's not just the sense of community, but right, wrong, good, bad. Are you good or are you bad? Well, people are a combination of both. And you have to be able to see the good and the bad people and the bad and the good people if you're going to be successful in this world. And I thought that came across really well as well in the portrayal of not just Clarence, but Judas. And we know Judas is the one who turned Jesus in.
Judas.
Spoiler. I don't know.
Alert.
Spoiler alert if you hadn't read the good book.
It's been out for a while.
If you hadn't read the good book, spoiler alert, Judas tattletales on Jesus.
Imagine someone was just at whatever chapter comes before. And
which book is
just
that
found
in?
out. Don't ask me questions.
Somebody in the chat, let me know what book it is when Judas betrays Jesus. But yeah, like that is happening. And if you're a disciple, you're good. Well, Judas is very clearly not good. If you're a con man and a drug dealer, you're bad. But Clarence does some things that nobody else is doing, some really, really good things that nobody else is doing. So are you all good? Are you all bad? Or are you a mixture of the two? And how do you move in this world where the line is drawn so definitively, where once you do this, you're bad. But once you do that, you're good. I thought it was a great movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Gospel of Matthew is where Judas commits to the betrayal in exchange for 30 pieces of silver. And then it's John, the book of John, where Jesus says, one of you will betray me. So there's your biblical answers of the day. I wanted to see, when that preview, I forget what movie we were at, but we saw that preview a while back. And it was one of those where I was like, ooh, I'm intrigued by this. And I think Lakeith Stanfield is one of those rising stars, has risen stars, sits in a place where, like, if he's in something, I assume it will be good. There are certain actors that do that, and that's where I think it sits with him right now.
Okay.
I saw 2 movies in the last week. I finally saw The Fall Guy in theaters.
I thought you had been seeing that.
Before, I wasn't here last Thursday.
I got you.
So I saw The Fall Guy. It was, I thought, a great time. I really, really enjoyed The Fall Guy. I think Ryan Gosling is an absolute star, got lost in his arms. I believed the chemistry between him and Emily Blunt, and I thought the stunts were great. I'm trying to appreciate more, I should say, movies that aren't that deep. This movie is not deep. It has some funny lines. There are some predictable parts. There are some like eye-rolly, there's no way in hell this could happen. Of course not. It's a movie about stunt men doing stunt things, but it was cool to see actual stunts. Like there was a world record set for the number of times a car rolled, and they actually did that within the context of the movie, and that was a storyline in the movie. I had a blast watching it. Apparently not enough people had a blast watching it because it very quickly went to streaming. You can still see it in theaters some places, but they quickly released a streaming option for The Fall Guy, and this goes hand in hand with what has happened with Furiosa, another critically acclaimed movie that was expected to do much better at the box office than it actually did. It only made $32 million opening weekend. It barely beat Garfield, Chris Pratt's Garfield, and now Furiosa, like the future of the franchise, is kind of in limbo, I should say, because they're putting a pause on future movies within the Furiosa universe because of how poorly this one did, because they cost a lot of money to make, and if you can't recap some of those or recoup some of those losses, it's going to be a loss for the studios, which just has people in a bit of a state of worry for movies, because they do have to make money. There's not just endless money to be thrown around making these giant creative projects. And a movie like Furiosa that has been mostly deemed good. Like, this is a good movie with stars in said movie, Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth. Woo! And yet people didn't turn out at the box office.
And they haven't, well, they didn't turn out opening weekend, and that's usually your best weekend. And so it's not looking like they'll turn out the rest of the weekends either. And movies are in a very weird place post-pandemic, where the TVs have gotten so much better. And we talk about this some with sports also, where my living room is a better environment than a game or a trip to the movie theater from a cost standpoint and all of this. It is, they've got to figure it out, because we're not going to be done making these blockbuster movies. And I'm curious to know what the rest of them will do the rest of the summer, right? Like Bad Boys, I'm curious about. And that, if Furiosa, which is a good movie and a new sort of telling on a franchise, one of these universes,
and it did so well in 2015.
And it did well in 2015.
Yes.
Recently, it did well. If it's doing this I do have major concerns and major trepidation for a movie like Bad Boys, for even Deadpool and Wolverine also, where it is, okay, well, these movies have the same ingredients that Furiosa had. Why are we going to show up for those movies? And if we don't show up for these,
what are we showing up for?
What are we going to show up for? What is the state of the movie viewing experience in this country going to look like?
I still love a movie theater day. I really do. I genuinely enjoy seeing movies in theaters.
I do also.
I think I liked seeing The Fall Guy because I saw it in theaters, and it was boom, boom, big stunts, big noise.
So expensive.
I know.
Like, have we hit the point where movies are simply just too expensive?
Maybe.
Like, it's for us. We'll probably see. I want to see Furiosa. I might see that this weekend. But some of these movies coming out this summer, we'll probably see in IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
So that's almost $40 right there for me and the wife, plus snacks, which is almost another $40 for me and the wife. We're looking at $80 to go to the movies. Like that's a lot of money. The ticket prices have got to come down. It wouldn't hurt if the concessions prices came down also.
We've been bringing, I don't think this is against, we bring our own water. And I don't think they're going to stop us from hydrating. But that saves a lot because bottled water at the movies is like $5, and 5 + 5 is 10. And next thing you know, if you want popcorn on top of that. I had this movie theater where I grew up in Denver that was like when boutique movie theaters first started becoming a thing, and they did unlimited popcorn. Like, you paid for the ticket, a popcorn and a drink was a set price. And I think back then it was pretty cheap. It was like $18 for all of it. And you could go back and it was unlimited refills on both your drink and your popcorn. And so you weren't picking a size. And that was back when like recliner seats were first a thing. And there was a novelty to it. So it felt so special. But now recliner seats are everywhere, which I love. And those kind of things didn't take off. Now you have restaurants attached to movie theaters. And the last couple of times we've gone to the one down here, the restaurant's not even open.
Yeah, that's
because they can't staff it.
The restaurants in movie theaters, I think we've gotten to the point the theater has of, hey, we've got to bring people out of their homes. We've got to make this feel like their homes. And in doing that, the cost of everything has risen.
Gone up, yeah.
I think if they cut some of that out, like, I don't need a restaurant with my movie theater. I don't need to be able to get pizza and wings at the movie theater. You can take the money you're spending on those types of machines and upkeep for those, get rid of those entirely, and that cuts down on some of it. Movie theaters are real simple, real basic. Hot dog, maybe burger, maybe chicken tenders, popcorn, drinks, nachos, and the candy. Like, keep the snacks simple and try and cut down on some of these prices, because I can't imagine like a family of 4 just we want to go see Despicable Me 4. Great. Family of 4, and you get popcorn, get the big bucket of popcorn, everybody shares that, and then get two drinks. Big bucket of popcorn and a drink, that's a combo. That's what, $13.75, $15 or something like that. Plus another drink is going to run you another $3.50, $4. So you're looking at, when it's all said and done, about $20 for snacks at the movie theater, plus another $30, $40, $40 for tickets.
Like $8 tickets for kids, but after tax, you're gonna be paying $80.
So again, you're back at $70 to $80 for a family of 4 to go to the movies, and that's a tad
and it used
too
to be
expensive.
Like $20.
When?
Like growing up, movie tickets used to be like $5.
Oh, if you got the matinees, yeah, I see what you're saying.
$5 for matinees, but then it was $7 for a night ticket. I just feel like when I was a teenager, we used to use our money to go to movies, and it wasn't breaking us, and maybe we didn't always get treats,
right?
But you could go.
Yeah,
got to be able to make out at the movies for cheap. What are the kids gonna do?
And that's the other thing. I don't think.
How are they gonna socialize?
Listen, hadn't tried.
Movies are so helpful. You don't have to talk.
Hadn't done it before. Again, friend of a friend of mine has pointed out the fact that with the armrests not moving up and down, you can't even get in there good to snuggle.
It's true.
Can't even get in there good to make out.
Us just a snuggle.
Just a snuggle.
I'm just scary.
Yeah.
All right, real quick before we get out of here, because we have not gotten to this the last couple of days, but the Cannes Film Festival had an incident with a security guard that stole the show. It is the Cannes Film Festival. That is what it is called. It is the festival in Cannes, France. Look it up. Play it. You want to know why I know this? Why? Because I called it the Cannes Film Festival my whole life. And one time Megan Triplett sat right in that chair and stared me dead in the eye and she said, "It's Cannes." And I said, "No, it's not." And I was you. And I said, "No, it's not."
Megan's word for it, I still don't believe it.
I said, "No, it's not." No, I looked it up. I was that brat. I was like, "I think you're wrong." She was 100% correct. And I've said it correctly ever since. This security guard did nothing correct and made all kinds of social media videos pop off with how she handled a variety of celebrities on the red carpet at Cannes. Did you get it, CJ? Yes.
Say what?
Did you get it?
No, not yet.
Okay. That right there is former Miss Dominican Republic. Yes, she also has Jesus Christ on the train of her dress, which is an entire different story. But this security guard was like manhandling or woman-handling people into the theater and trying to get them off of the red carpet. That's K-pop star Yunya. She had a similar experience. And then the big one that had everyone talking was Kelly Rowland, another member of the great Destiny's Child, who was there at Cannes. And Kelly Rowland was trying to take pictures and interact with fans. And the security guard is like, "No, you have to go inside." And Kelly Rowland's like, "No, I do not have to go inside. You will not make me go inside." And Kelly Rowland noted that actresses who looked differently than her, i.e. a bunch of white actresses, were up and down, or attendees who were there, weren't being ushered into the theater as quickly as she was. And it turned into this whole incident. But if you're a security guard and you become the star of the show, like, you're doing something wrong. We are not here for the security guard. We're here for the celebrities. Nobody wants you.
What's the point of the security guard? Nobody does. And
to keep fans off of I would assume to keep things running, to keep things moving.
Okay, so why can't
the woman with the Jesus train?
This is fine.
Really wanted to show the train of her dress.
She's showing it to take the pictures. Like, what are you doing? Once you realize she's showing it to take the pictures, why are you still bothering her? Is anybody coming up to cause you
like
any
a
sort
power
of
trip?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes security
similar
guards
like the
do
Scottie
this.
Scheffler incident.
Oh, sometimes
Scottie Scheffler would like to move on. All charges have been dropped.
Yeah, sometimes Louisville Police Department does that.
You know, maybe if she needs a new job, maybe the Louisville Police
LPD
Department is.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine moving from Cannes, France, to Louisville, Kentucky?
Yeah, what an upgrade.
No, Cannes is beautiful.
It's France. Nothing's beautiful in France.
There is.
Whatever. That's Rudy Gobert's home. No, there's not.
You're telling me.
Yes, I'm telling you that I'd rather be in Louisville, Kentucky.
That you would rather be
than Cannes or Cannes,
in
whatever we're calling it.
Louisville.
Yes.
Than this.
Yes. Absolutely.
Than this place.
Yes.
Than this.
Yes. Shout out to Louisville.
Slugger.
Let's go. Big Bats in Louisville. And
it is.
That's where I need to be.
All right. Our jelly bean picks for today after.
Are you excited about tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, you get to eat these jelly beans.
I know.
We've been planning this since February.
And we're finally gonna eat them.
And finally you're gonna eat these yucky ass jelly beans because you decided you wanted to eat disgusting foods on the show for the reaction.
Okay, let's be perfect. The original was not eating disgusting foods. I wanted to eat hot wings because everybody loves the hot wings challenge.
The hot wings.
Yes, I wanted to eat the
hottest of
hottest hot wings. I wanted us to be in distress.
Yes.
SOS, call the fire department. Rio. That's what I wanted. We settled on gross jelly beans. So somehow this devolved from being put through heat checks to having to eat a jelly bean that might taste like vomit.
Jessica.
This is the evolution of an idea at work. But yes, we get to eat them tomorrow.
Yes. And it's all your idea.
Do we have to eat more for the locks we got wrong? Because I've really picked some bad locks.
So the locks are the hot flavor. So the locks, because those are your fire picks.
That's right.
You eat the hot ones for those.
Great.
And then you eat the assortment of flavors. Like
I will still be in distress.
You get a lock wrong, you're going to be in pain. You get a pick wrong, you may be in pain, you may not be, because it's a mixture of the flavors.
Okay.
Yes.
My picks for tonight, I'm taking the Timberwolves. They're 4.5-point favorites over the Mavs at home. Timberwolves to extend the series. Obviously, they lose. The series comes to an end, and we will be waiting until next Thursday, June 6th, for the NBA Finals to begin. I'm also taking the Rangers in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. That has been a fun series. Rangers-Panthers all tied up at 2 apiece. It is a Game 5 at Madison Square Garden. Give me the home team in that one. And then I will take the the Indiana Fever getting their second win of the season, coming off Caitlin Clark's first 30-point game in her WNBA career. They play the Storm tonight. They played the Storm close last week. It was a 2-point game. Give me the Fever covering tonight, 4.5-point dogs.
The Fever are going to have to win a game before I pick them. I thought about picking the other side of that, the Storm, as a lock. But I went elsewhere. I'll take the Mavs plus the 4.5. The series ends tonight, people. I'm sorry to tell you. Sky minus the 4.5. The Sky are interesting to me. The Sky, when Cardoso comes back, I'm curious to know what they'll do. I love Weatherspoon as a coach. Like, you can see the visible toughness on that team. Yeah. And I love me a good tough team. So give me them minus the 4.5 against the Spark. Another one of those young teams that are trying to figure themselves out. And then give me the over the 209.5 in the Mavs-Timberwolves game. The only game to hit the under that was last game. All the other ones hit the over, so I'll take the over there.
All right. We'll see how it all plays out tomorrow. It will be a Friday. We'll eat jelly beans. We'll talk to Lang Whitaker. We'll talk about Timberwolves, Mavs, and we'll get into the weekend. I cannot wait. I forgot to put my song lyrics up. Anyway, whatever. We'll get to it tomorrow. There's no graphic. There's no rules. Bye.